Perimenopause and menopause and the hormonal shift and life transformation that happens about the same time. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Kristi Tompkins, and I'm a women's health and hormone specialist. I'm also a professional life and business coach. And today's topic is actually one of my favorites that I get to blend women's health, hormones, perimenopause, and menopause with a lot of the life transitional changes that are occurring for women, either intentional or unintentional. And a lot of times I'd say they're probably unintentional, unplanned, a surprise. So, for a lot of women, perimenopause, by the way, is between the ages of 35 and 55 years old. Perimenopause is typically a time in a woman's life where her hormone levels are steadily, gradually declining in preparation for menopause when the period completely stops for 12 months and beyond. Perimenopause typically involves a lot of symptoms, physical symptoms, emotional, psychological symptoms that are resulting because of the hormones dropping. Most women are familiar with the perimenopausal and menopausal. So once the period stops, it's not like the symptoms completely stop. Often there's a lot of symptoms that continue for months to sometimes many years. So for a lot of women, most women, their body is changing, and their body is changing not just so much that the hormone levels, maybe heavier bleeding, lighter bleeding, skipping periods, mid-cycle spotting, other maybe a little bit more painful cramping, PMS symptoms, things like that. Maybe the period's happening a little bit shorter, like maybe closer to 3 weeks instead of the 28 to 30 day cycle. So there's also, in addition to the menstrual cycle timing changes, there are also a lot of physical changes that women experience. I would say the most common is probably a shift in body fat distribution. So a little bit more abdominal belly fat that is centered in the core, related to a drop in estrogen that is redistributing the fat more to the belly area. And in some cases, the arms and the chest and the back. And so there are a cascade or a list of other symptoms: interrupted sleep, temperature changes, maybe waking up a bit warm, libido, sex drive changes, vision, all sorts of other, skin maybe is getting a little bit drier, and so forth. In addition to those changes with the woman's body, that often becomes, I shouldn't say often, it is sometimes the catalyst for women to make significant changes in their health. So that could be consulting with, going online. That's what a lot of us do. We go online, we go to Google, we go to our phone, we go to our laptop, maybe we go to, AI, Chat GPT, something like that, to look at why we're having these symptoms. So a lot of women want to get to the root cause. Why am I having this? Is this related to perimenopause, menopause? Is this related to something else? Am I dying? Sometimes we all tend to be a little bit dramatic when it comes to some of the symptoms that we might be experiencing. And sometimes we tend to think the worst, or at least some of the clients that I've worked with over the years, they think it's something so much worse, and it really just is not quite as severe usually. So a lot of women become very purposeful or driven when it comes to getting to the underlying cause of why they're having these symptoms, lab testing. And in many cases, especially with the clients I've worked with over the years, they come talk to me, they hire me, we work together, I evaluate their symptoms, I order lab tests, I will give them a personalized treatment protocol, whether it's involving lifestyle changes, nutrition, exercise, supplements, bioidentical hormones in some cases, and a whole list of other treatments to help address the perimenopausal symptoms. So a lot of women become very proactive at looking at alternative ways, alternative to conventional medicine. Let me be specific there. So functional medicine, naturopathic medicine, I'm going to use those two terms interchangeably because they're very much the same. Looking at the whole body, the whole person, the entire being, to address the underlying root cause of why these symptoms are happening, and also address them, and maybe not entirely resolve them, but at least address them as best as possible. So um, women become more serious at really trying to become healthier. At least that's been my experience with the clients that I have worked with. Is they are no longer willing to settle for just taking a birth control pill, or just doing some sort of maybe synthetic horse estrogen pill. They are no longer, maybe they want to get a second opinion if one of the doctors that they're consulting with wants to take an organ out. They're looking at other options, and that's been going on for quite a while. So women are more focused on the whole person approach, getting to the root cause, additional types of testing besides just maybe your typical blood test, getting second opinions, third, fourth, fifth opinions to see what else is possible, and also longevity. Maybe we are living a lot longer than the last generation and the generation before that, and so longevity, helping improve the quality of life, or women are more focused on improving their quality of life in this second half. So, as I mentioned, perimenopause, menopause time is typically between ages of 35 and 55. I have some clients, they stop getting a period at 40, 38, 57. I would say the average age is probably right around 50, between 49 and 53 is kind of that window of time. And it becomes a catalyst and a somewhat of a sense of urgency that I'm at midlife. I have the second half of my life remaining, and I want to do what I can, as much as I can, to be healthier and to live a better quality of life and to have more energy and to lose weight, maybe change my exercise, change my eating, change how I react to stress, change some of my lifestyle habits, cutting out alcohol, cutting out sugar, cutting out certain things so that their body can now thrive and feel more rejuvenated. Some of the other things that a lot of women go through during this time is their identity is shifting. So, for a lot of women, if you have children, if you don't, that's okay too. For a lot of women, their identity is shifting. They're no longer caring. Again, this is going to depend on when you started having children. Maybe they're not caring for young children. Their children are maybe getting into their teen years, going away to college, leaving the home, empty nesters. Perhaps there are relationship changes, marriage changes that are happening around the same time. And whether your relationships are staying or maybe your relationships are ending, and now maybe you're single for the first time in a long time, which is an identity shift for a lot of men too, but obviously for women in this case. Caring for parents that aren't doing well. Whether it's you caring for aging parents or you are having to look into other options, siblings, other healthcare professionals to help support caring for your parents, and moving to a new location, moving to either a bigger house or maybe even downsizing, moving out of state, um, moving to just another home that is more in alignment with the home that you want to have at this point. And for a lot of women, and then also career. So let's talk about career. A lot of women are having career changes, business changes, whether it's the same company, moving to a different role, completely changing to another career. If you've done something for many years as an attorney, as an engineer, as a teacher, um, whatever, there's a lot of women that are getting further education, further training, further experience, and getting into something a bit more meaningful, a bit more fulfilling, a bit more impactful, influential, maybe even more lucrative as well. I know a lot of um, people in my profession as a naturopathic doctor, functional medicine practitioner, are getting into other careers. Teachers, I see a lot of teachers getting into social media, graphic design, getting into another type of career that maybe either feels more in alignment with who you're becoming, who you have evolved into, or maybe it's who you've always been. There's a lot of people that feel, they love cooking, or they love, marketing and advertisement, or they love singing, or they love whatever it is that you just at your core, you've loved this for so long that it just naturally feels like the next best step to move into something that just feels right. It just makes you happy. It makes your heart, fill with love. It really just helps you to remember, rediscover what you're most passionate about. So this also becomes a time for women to change that. It doesn't have to be a career change. It could be something that you are taking on as a hobby, as a talent, as a craft, as a skill, as something that maybe you're volunteering, maybe philanthropic work, things like that. A lot of women are looking at this time in their life, they're looking into other types of, um, other ways of evolving, other ways of growing, other ways of changing besides just, maybe joining a gym or changing up your lifestyle, your diet, but also looking into things like meditation and mindfulness, and maybe looking into spiritual teachings, and looking into a little bit more into our purpose here and why we're here, why did our soul choose to come here, what is our life purpose, our soul purpose for being here. And so there's a lot of women who are seeking out, and maybe this has been happening for many years for many of you before the midlife hormonal shift, but it becomes this time of looking a little bit deeper within, um, and then looking at a way to maybe connect with other people who are on that same path, who are on that same journey of looking at different spiritual beliefs. And kind of along that same topic of community, this also becomes a really pivotal, important time for women to reevaluate your friendships, all of your relationships, your intimate partnerships, your friendships, your family relationships, friends, um, people maybe that you've known for quite a while, maybe friends that you've had for decades, and you think you're going to be friends for the rest of your life, and life happens and things change, or maybe you have been in a long-term commitment or marriage for a period of time, and all of a sudden now that's shifting or changing in a way. So reevaluating your relationship. So if you're changing, if you're evolving and growing, chances are other people in your life, they're doing the same, or they're not doing the same. Or maybe you're not changing and evolving. And so if there's not that resonance, or that commonality, or kind of walking along a similar ish path, that can cause differences and maybe even challenges for a lot of people. And so letting go of relationships, or just simply distancing yourself from certain relationships that no longer feel good to you. They no longer feel right, or they just don't feel like, doesn't feel like the timing of that particular relationship is supportive for you right now. So a lot of relationships shift, letting go, releasing some, taking a step back, pursuing other communities with other people that have a similar mindset, similar belief, similar value, similar goals, and maybe a similar sense of purpose and impact perhaps as well. This also becomes a time for women to have a bit more freedom, not only freedom from your menstrual cycle if your period has stopped, but also freedom from maybe caring for children, maybe caring for other people as much. And now the focus tends to shift a bit more on a lot more self-care. That's a big term used these days, but I like to think of it as just you're caring for your body, you're caring for yourself, you're caring for your life as if you were caring for a child. And now it becomes the more of a primary focus, or more of a emphasis in helping your body, supporting your mind, looking into different spiritual teachings and looking into other ways of existing, and not just existing, but actually thriving during your time here on this planet. And so a lot of women are wanting to maybe travel and explore other cultures and other countries, and having that sense of just not having as many ties, or as being held down as much, or having as many obligations to other people outside of your life. So now maybe the obligation or the responsibility is more on yourself, with freedom, with that wanderlust, with that opportunity to travel, whether it's to another country or just maybe taking a road trip, or maybe having that freedom and flexibility to go spend a day as you want it to, compared to maybe the decade before, or decades before. Um, so for a lot of women, this also becomes a time for reflection and contemplation at, this is the person I am, this is the person I've been over, let's say 40 years, 50 years. This is how I see myself. This is how other people see me. This is based on my conditioning, my programming, my stories, my experiences, whether they're my own or something that I learned or absorbed through my family upbringing, past relationships. This is who I believe myself to be, but I don't really think that that's me. I don't really think that that really fits my personality, or fits who I truly am authentically at my core. And this is the person who I really am. This is the person who I really want to step into, embody. This is how I want to live my life in every way. So it becomes this, not so much a personality change, although that could happen, but it also becomes a an instrumental time for women to really kind of, I guess, maybe take the coat off, so to speak, or kind of shed those layers that no longer serve you, that you no longer really identify with, and to really get into things that really fit and resonate with the woman that maybe you always were meant to become, and the woman that you want to the woman that you want to be for this second half. And so it's almost like this self empowerment through maybe empowerment through other women, or inspiration through other women, or other leaders of all types. But it becomes this like, yeah, it's like stepping into your own power, or remembering the power that you do have. You've always had that power to change, but now it becomes this, um not an apathetic, like I don't care, but just more of like, I care less about what other people are thinking, and I care more about my happiness and my fulfillment, and being true to myself. So with all of that, I spent a little bit more time on this than I intended. I am hosting a brand new program for women. It is called Thrives, a women's integrative collective program, and we start March 19th. It is all online. It's through Zoom. You can tune in from wherever you are located. We meet every other Wednesday. This goes until the end of June, and all the Zoom calls are going to be recorded. And it is really about, each of the letters of Thrives has a specific meaning. The T is transformation. The H is for heal. The R is for rehearsal, mental rehearsal, emotional, visual rehearsal, like guided imagery, meditation. The I is for integrity. V is values, aligning your personal and your work values or business values. E is for energy, energy in all ways, energetic frequency, vibration. And the S is for social connection. That is 7 letters. So the 8th session is going to be on the dance between feminine and masculine energies, the divine feminine, divine masculine, which we all possess, and that integration and that collaboration between those two energies. The link for this class is going to be with this video. It's going to be amazing. I'm so excited about it. If you have questions, you can reach out to me directly. We can schedule a one-on-one 15-minute consult. There's a lot of generous information on the website link for this program. I hope you can join us. Share with the women in your life if this piques your interest at all. And hopefully you can be there with us. I would love to have your presence. If this is a good fit, mutually a good fit, I'd love to have your presence and your energy with us. We'll see you next time.